They say the loudest sound in the world isn't a gunshot or a Harley at full throttle. The loudest sound in the world is the silence of an empty chair. 10-year-old Leo sat alone at a concrete picnic table in Cedar Park. The sky was gray, the air was cold. He was staring at a grocery store cake with 10 unlit candles, white frosting, blue letters that spelled "Happy Birthday." 3 deflated balloons were tied to a rusty bench leg, sagging like they had already given up. He checked his cheap digital watch. 2:37 p.m. Nobody came. Not one kid from school. Not one friend. Not even the ones who said maybe. Just Leo, a cold wind pushing dead leaves across the pavement, and silence so heavy it hurt to breathe. But what Leo didn't know was that this was the last lonely birthday he'd ever spend. Because when the engines finally roared, they were coming for him. Welcome to Biker's Lore. If you believe family isn't always about blood, hit that subscribe button. Now, let's ride.
Leo had been in the foster system since he was 4. He was small, gentle, the kind of kid who apologized when someone else bumped into him. He lived with Mrs. Gable, a stern, 62-year-old foster mother who didn't waste words or give many hugs. But she kept him fed, clothed, and always left the porch light on. 3 weeks earlier, she gave him permission to have a birthday party. For 2 nights straight, Leo made invitations, construction paper folded in half, crayon drawings of cakes and balloons, his name at the bottom in shaky letters. 25 invitations, his pencils turned to stubs. Mrs. Gable watched him work. When she saw how hard he was trying, something softened in her face. "That's real nice, Leo," she said, squeezing his shoulder. At school, he handed them out one by one, kids he sat near in class, kids who barely knew his name. Most stuffed them in their backpacks without looking. A few laughed. Tyler Brennan crumpled his up and threw it in the trash, right in front of Leo. But Leo kept hoping, because hope is what you do when you've got nothing else. Back at the park, it was now past 3 p.m., over 2 hours late. Leo's hands trembled as he packed up the cake. "It's okay," he whispered. "Maybe next year." That's when he heard bicycle tires screeching across pavement. His heart sank.
Tyler Brennan, the meanest kid in 4th grade. The kid who flicked Leo's ears when the teacher wasn't looking. And he brought back up 2 bigger boys. Tyler hopped off his bike and let it crash to the pavement. "Yo, Leo, nice party, man," his friends snickered. "I'm not alone," Leo said, voice trembling. "They're just late." Tyler laughed. Sharp, cruel. "Nobody's coming, foster boy. Nobody wants to hang out with you." Tyler grabbed a soda can, shook it hard, popped the tab, and sprayed sticky foam all over the table, all over Leo's only good jeans. His friends howled. Then Tyler walked to the cake, looked Leo dead in the eyes, and shoved it off the table. It landed upside down in the dirt, white frosting smeared across the gravel. One of the boys laughed so hard he snorted. Leo just stood there, shoulders slumped, fists clenched. It wasn't just his cake that was ruined. It was the last piece of hope he'd had. Tyler climbed back on his bike. "Happy birthday, loser." And that's when it started. The soda cans on the table began to vibrate. Tyler stopped laughing. What is that?" The puddle of soda started to ripple. Then came the sound, low, deep, rolling in like thunder. Motorcycles. The kind you feel in your chest before you hear them. Tyler's face went pale, because turning into the park, one after another, was a convoy of black motorcycles. 15, 20, 30, more. Men in leather vests, chains, beards, sunglasses even though the sky was gray. The Iron Spartan Motorcycle Club. Crimson Spartan helmet patches on their backs. Flames curling around the edges. They rode in formation, slow, steady, like a war column, heading straight for the picnic table. Tyler stumbled backward. "Who are they?" The bikes circled the area, 50 of them.
maybe more. Then they stopped. Engines cut off, one by one. The leader dismounted first. Big Mike, 6'4", gray beard down to his chest, arms like tree trunks covered in faded ink. He didn't look at Tyler. He just walked straight to Leo, boots crunching on gravel, and stood beside him. Tyler's voice cracked. We were just... Big Mike slowly turned his head, lowered his sunglasses. I didn't ask. Tyler's hand shook. Big Mike's jaw tightened. Leave. Tyler grabbed his handlebars and rode away so fast he nearly wiped out. Gone. All three of them.
Big Mike looked down at Leo. The kid was staring at his ruined cake. Mike crouched down, slow, until they were eye to eye. You Leo? Leo nodded, barely. Mrs. Gable called us this morning, said you were having a birthday party, said nobody showed up. Leo's eyes went wide. She did? Mike nodded. But honestly, kid, we already knew who you were. Leo looked confused. Last week, at the gas station on Route 9, you waved at me. You smiled. Leo remembered. Most people look away when they see us, cross the street, pull their kids closer. But you waved, like we were just regular people. Mike's voice softened. We don't forget respect, Leo, and we don't forget good kids. Leo's lip trembled. I didn't think anyone would come. Mike put a hand on Leo's shoulder. Kid, we came from 3 counties over. Some of us took the day off work. Leo looked at the rows of motorcycles, at the men standing beside them. Why? Big Mike's face softened. Because nobody gets left behind. Not on their birthday, not ever.
What happened next, Leo would remember forever. A biker named Dutch pulled out a fresh cake from his saddlebag. Whole, perfect. Another rolled a cooler off his bike, full of sodas and ice. Someone turned on a Bluetooth speaker. AC/DC started blasting. Within minutes, the table was covered. Pizza, chips, candy, and 50 men in leather vests sang happy birthday at the top of their lungs. Off-key, loud, perfect. Leo laughed so hard he snorted. Big Mike lifted him onto his Harley. Let him rev the throttle. The engine roared. Leo's grin stretched ear to ear. The bikers high-fived him, ruffled his hair, told him jokes. One guy did a wheelie. Another juggled soda cans. For the first time in his life, Leo felt like he mattered. As the sun dropped, Big Mike called Leo over. He pulled out something small, black leather, stitched edges, a vest, kid-sized. On the back was a patch, red and gold thread, Junior Associate, Iron Spartans MC. Leo stared. This is for me? Mike nodded. You're one of us now, kid. He draped it over his shoulders. Leo touched the patch like it was made of gold. For the first time in 10 years, Leo felt like he belonged. Big Mike leaned down. You ever need us again? You call. We ride for family, and you're family now. Leo nodded, couldn't speak. The bikes started up again. One by one, the rumble returned. But this time, it felt like protection. The convoy rolled out slowly. Big Mike gave one last salute, and then they were gone. Leo stood in the empty park. The sun broke through the clouds for the first time all day. Mrs. Gable walked up beside him. Leo looked up at her, eyes wet. You really called them? She smiled. Small, quiet, real. I made one phone call, Leo. She looked at the dust settling on the road. The rest showed up on their own. Leo looked back at the fading sound of engines. He touched the patch on his vest, and for the first time in his life, he understood what it felt like to be wanted.
If this story hit your heart, hit that like button. Sometimes the people who look the scariest are the ones with the biggest hearts.
Subscribe to Biker's Lore for more tales of brotherhood and the open road. Until next time, keep the rubber side down.